Good morning.
My name is Wayne Perkins, and I've done a segment in the past in reference to some personal security issues, community policing, etc., and so forth. Today I would like to talk a little bit more about personal security in reference to the physical aspects of security, how to protect yourself, your family, your home, your property, a business, your friends, etc., and so forth. And before we're through, I'd like to talk just a little bit about financial security and how you can protect yourself in some general methods along those lines. But let's talk a little bit first about securing or feeling secure about yourself. When I talk about physical security for a person, I like to start by talking about what our Constitution has to say in the beginning, and what our four freedoms, so-called, are. And one of our four freedoms, as listed by our forefathers, was to be free from fear. And I'm not sure that you can ever totally accomplish that, but we can certainly make strides toward that. We live in a society today where there seems to be a lot of fear around us because of terrorism, bullying, etc., and so forth. And I think there are some basic ways in which we can protect ourselves and those close to us from those types of fears. I particularly with women, I like to say that you should travel in groups when you're traveling outside of the home. And particularly at night, travel in well-lighted areas, travel with at least one friend, and even more so as a group. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to arm yourself, my first choice would be to pick up some pepper spray, and I think every woman should carry one of those vials in their pocketbook or on a keychain, so that it's readily available if needed, and you are attacked by someone, you've at least got a way to thwart the attack. I know my wife and my daughters all carry it at my request. It's readily available, and you no longer in Massachusetts need a license to buy it or use it. And you certainly have a right under what's known as our castle law to defend yourself, those around you, and your home. So any method that you can use to ward off an attack, whether it be by a female or male or any group. Another thing that I like to talk about is it doesn't hurt to go get some physical hand-to-hand combat type training. There's many schools that offer short classes in tactics to defend yourself. And you don't have to be big, you don't have to be particularly strong to be effective. If you know what the right tactics are, if you are attacked. Another area that we probably should talk about is breaking into homes, B&Es. There's a rash of those, whether it be in an automobile or whether it be in a home or a store. With the drug problem that we seem to have on the streets these days, many individuals who are unfortunately addicted need to find other sources of income to fund their habit and their addiction. And in many cases it involves breaking into homes and stealing private items, sometimes which cannot be replaced, such as heirloom jewelry that may have been passed down through a number of generations. Once it's gone, melted down, and so on and so forth, it's gone. And there's no way, absolutely no way to protect it. I strongly urge folks to either install themselves or have installed some type of a security system, an alarm system. Automatic outside lighting is always a help. Someone comes into the driveway or comes up onto your porch or whatever, and a light comes on instantly to identify that individual. In addition to that, if you've got a camera that can take a picture of the perpetrator, You've even got one more step towards eventually catching, apprehending, and bringing to justice the individuals trying to perpetuate that crime at your home. If they're inside and they get some things, if you have a security system, I would strongly urge you to, in addition to having exterior sirens and so on, have it so that it rings into a central station and can be reported to the local police. As you know and I know, the police cannot be everywhere at the same time. So if they get a call that there's a break in progress at your location, they're going to respond. They're going to know what they're responding to, and they'll be better prepared to take the appropriate actions. As far as community security goes, our police are probably the first and foremost responders to any type of security issues. I think they do a great job with community policing and many other things, teaching our children in schools and so on. And for a minute, let's talk about the schools, because these days it seems like there have been too many shootings where somebody managed to break in or get into a school with a weapon and mow down a bunch of helpless children, teachers, administrators, and so on. It's an absolute shame that these things have to happen. I don't think anyone really has a definition as to what triggers these things or why they take these actions, but we as human beings all know that it's something that we want to eliminate. And there are many things that are being done by the local police departments, sheriff's departments, state police units, etc., to thwart these type of actions, whether it be locked doors, and the only way that you can gain admittance is to speak with someone who can actually visually see you on a camera. Once you're inside, going through a metal detector. And the other thing that goes along with that is having a police presence in the school, so that there's a first responder there immediately if something happens. Going along with all of this, most police departments these days are involved with active shooter training, whereby in the old days students would have to go through a fire drill where the fire alarm system would ring and you'd be escorted out of the building in an orderly fashion. The whole idea behind this type of training is so that the children know, in the event of an active shooter situation, what they should do, where they should go, and how they should protect themselves by barricades, lights out, windows, staying away from windows, doors, and so on and so forth that could be penetrated by a bullet. It's unfortunate that we have to train these folks this way, but we do, to protect them. And I think the police are taking a very proactive stance at this point in time to accomplish that. And we've seen a couple of situations recently in other parts of the country where these types of attacks have been stopped by the active presence of an officer. So I think we're going to see more and more of that as we go along. I want to talk a little bit about the subject of bullying while we're on the subject of security, because this seems to have become something that's more rampant now, or at least more publicized, where we've got a youngster, for whatever reason, is the subject of taunting, bullying, being pushed around, being beat up, and so on and so forth. And I think the thing that bothers me the most about that is, in many cases that are taped with a cell phone or any type of camera, there'll be bystanders who are actually cheering them on rather than jumping in to stop the assault. And I think we need to try to change the attitude of some of these youngsters, that violence is not okay, and we need to teach our kids to help and abet those who are the subjects of bullying. There's no place in today's society to bully anybody, whether it be a child, an adult, or someone with a disability. or somebody that might be a little different than you or I. There are multiple reasons for these types of actions, and none of them in today's society fit. I'm not sure they ever fit in anybody's society, but now more than ever. We need to stop the spread of violence on the streets. If we can accomplish that, we will have improved security in just about every area conceivable.